Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 466 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles. Another FRL, another super guest. We've got Ben Askren, of course. We've got Kyle Brackey. Well, you knew that. But we also got head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, Chris Bono. Coach Bono, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're good. We're ducking and dodging this coronavirus down here in Texas. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good.
Michael
right,
Bloomberg's trying to, Michael Bloomberg's trying to lick his damn fingers and touch everything and spread the coronavirus everywhere. It's not good. But
hey,
you just saw the video, Christian.
4 seconds before the show starts, Ben sends me this video of Mike Bloomberg eating pizza and licking his fingers and touching it. It is so disgusting. Oh my gosh.
I have low standards. This goes. Hey, I am very happy today because Coach Bono, these guys pick on Wisconsin all the time. So I finally got it.
It's so untrue.
It's a 2-on-2 match now. It's a 2-on-2 match. Bring it today, guys.
That's totally untrue. That's fabricated. That's already, if this is a match, you already got taken down, Ben. It is untrue that we are anti.
That's right. Hey, Ben's got a lot of falls after he's gotten taken down, so we're in good shape.
Yeah, take that, Piles.
That's
How about the one guy on Twitter? The one guy on Twitter lectured you guys about saying Manitowoc County right.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to say all the
You
counties
did.
of Wisconsin right. And you know what? If it wasn't for the weird Wisconsin accent that all the Manitowoc County residents had, maybe I would say it better after watching Making a Murderer. Coach Bono, have you watched Making a Murderer yet?
I have. It's the first thing I did when I got here.
First order of business. Let me learn about the people of Wisconsin. That would have been my first step, too, if I hadn't watched it, Coach Bono.
Oh,
Okay, we'll probably get back to, if you need some depth at 197 for Braxton to train with, and he comes in, you could get, if Dassey ever gets out, we've always maintained he has some promise.
He's got a spot at the RTC.
Yeah, RTC. He may not be able to get into Wisconsin.
He's got more of a Greco build.
Hey, he's 251 miles away, so that's illegal. We can't have him.
Oh, shoot.
Dang.
He'll move to chase his dream. He loves wrestling. He's just not sure which kind. So, okay. Hey, we are all super excited about 133 pounds at the Big Ten Championships. You got a guy who's pretty dang good. He's an NCAA champion, Seth Gross, the top seed at Big Tens. And he's got a rematch looming with Sebastian Rivera. And I'm telling you, this was kind of a weird match, Coach. With that match potentially likely happening, if you ask me, what are your thoughts on what Seth needs to do in comparison to how that match went in Midlands to get his hand raised again against someone as good as Sebastian Rivera?
First, we got to get past your boy from Michigan.
You're darn right you do. Thank you.
You know,
that's good
my
coaching.
gosh.
Right.
Don't encourage Piles.
Right. So anyway, I'll tell you what, obviously that's a match that we expect to happen. We expect Seth to get there. But, as far as listening to Coach Torniolo yesterday, I'm happy the way they're thinking. You know what I mean? They think they won that match. They think Seth was a dead man out there, whatever they want to say. We're excited for the match. Gross is a competitor. He has wrestled in every single competition this year, including the Bill Farrell. Coming off of back surgery. You got to remember, the Midlands tournament was not even a year post major back surgery. Okay. Yeah. This guy was not training full time up until, I don't know, mid-January. So I think the best version of Seth Gross has not been seen yet. And I think he's going to show it at the Big Ten tournament.
And that's interesting you say that, because I think one thing we've been kind of observing this whole year is it isn't the Seth from 2 years ago at South Dakota State where once he's on top, the period's over and he's going to finish the period on top. He hasn't been able to ride as effectively. He just hasn't quite looked as sharp and in tune. Have you seen improvement of that since Midlands?
100%. He's a different guy than he was at Midlands. Physically, mentally, you know what I mean? You come off a major surgery, and, you guys, I don't know if you've had major surgeries, but you're coming off an ACL, you're coming off of something, you're tentative for a while. You want to make sure you feel good. And then when something tightens up or you tweak something, you know what I mean? What runs through your mind is amazing, and so he's had all that this year. He's had the tweaking and the back tightness and we had to back him down a bunch, and there was a lot of discussion about not wrestling a full season this year. But that's not who he is. He's going out there 30, 40, 50% and wrestling the best kids in the country every single week. So now he's had a little bit of time off. We've had one match a week now, and I'm telling you, he's a different guy. So I'm excited for all these matches, and what people don't realize is he's the most competitive person out there, and I think that separates a lot of people from in the country.
Looking at Seth's one of the guys, he had the luxury of kind of wrestling all the big dogs at the Big Ten. He wrestled DeSanto twice, he wrestled Rivera, and he's wrestled RBY. What did he take away from that RBY match, where I think there's a lot of areas where Roman presents some really tough issues for Seth, and that he's so quick, he's hard to get to. Obviously, he was able to get the banana split against him, but what were your takeaways from that match?
RBY's tough. He's a competitor, I don't, and in that match, I don't think Seth wrestled. I don't think we showed RBY everything that Seth has. I don't think we took one shot. So, our RBY is a heck of a competitor. We'll when that match presents itself, we'll have Gross ready, and he'll have himself ready, and it'll be a heck of a scrap.
This will be Seth's first Big Ten tournament. Of course, he was in the Big 12 prior. Is there any level of preparation that requires additionally, or is there a different mental focus? Obviously, he's wrestled in big spots. Do you think first time in the Big Ten, there's a different level of mental preparation necessary?
Zero. He prepares for every match, every tournament the same way. He's wrestled in world championships, national championships. He's won national titles. The thing about Seth is you don't have to get him ready mentally. I mean, he'll wrestle tomorrow out in the street if somebody wants to wrestle. And I'm not saying he's Mr. Tough Guy. Oh, let's go do this. I'm just saying if there's an opportunity to compete, that guy is showing up and he's going to compete, win or lose. He's going to go out there and give it everything he's got.
So back to the Rivera match, a lot of it came down to a pretty weird finish of the match where Seth ended up on a leg for an extended period of time. What was your understanding of that scenario, how it was called, and will it be called like that, do you think, moving forward?
What nobody has mentioned is the match finished on their feet, so the count should have stopped.
Okay.
Okay, I know people were saying, we should have had a stall call, put your hand up, blah blah blah. The match finished on its feet. As far as a reversal, I don't know if I saw a reversal there. You know what I mean? They're saying if his hand's unlocked, it's a reversal. I don't know. The bottom line was the calls went our way that match. We've been in a lot of matches where the calls didn't go our way, and it's going to be another match like that. Gross puts himself in those situations. I think I've wasted more challenge blocks on Gross because I don't understand the situation when he gets in there. But that's him. So he better be expect to be in some situations, and I think that's why he's successful a lot. Is he's going to put guys in situations they've never been in and they don't know how to react to every single match.
Got it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I brought up twice. I did a interview with Reese Humphrey on Monday for Rudis that I brought up yesterday. Is a lot of people when they see Seth hit a lat drop and say, "Oh, he can't do that again," and then they see him hit a cradle against Santo, "Oh, he can't do that again." But to what Coach Bono is saying, Seth is a high-level competitor, and he's got a lot of ways to win. He's got a lot of tricks in his bag. And just because, they're unconventional doesn't mean he can't do it again. And it might not be a lat drop, but it might be something else. He finds ways to score points. He's unique. He's got a lot of ways to do it. And so, people always want to count out and say that's an anomaly, but it's not an anomaly when he does it all the time.
Right. Yeah, if you go back and watch him, everybody talks about he's got to get on top to win. You know what I mean? That's not true, right? That's not true. If he gets a turn on top, it makes it easier to win. But he can score in every single position, and he can score 6-point moves in every single position from his feet, from the bottom.
Yes.
And he can get 4-point turns. So the guy's always in a match. And let me tell you something. He practices all these moves. It's not like he just goes out there and wings them. I've been on the end of almost losing my knee because the dude's lat dropping me. And you're like, what are you doing? Don't do that. And he's up there doing it in live matches.
Dang. So obviously he's looking pretty good. I have a question here from Sam Herring. If Coach Bono could go back, what would be the first thing he would do to a program once he got there to build it up to national power? Would it be finding recruits, connecting with donors, etc.? So Sam Herring's like 13. He's already thinking about how he's going to be a Division I head coach someday. So give him some advice, Coach.
You know what? It all depends what program you're going to. You know, when you come to a big-time program like this, you've got to hit the ground running recruiting. You've got to get the recruits in here to win. Now, when I started at South Dakota State, I had to build the booster level. I had to build the fan base. I had to build, a team that you could actually put on the mat to compete a little bit. You know, I knew we weren't going to be in the top 10 in the country there for 4, 5, 6 years. Here, I know with the brand of the W and the Wisconsin, if we get the athletes in here, we can win at the highest level. And it's also the fact that you're jumping into a big-time conference here where you don't want to be 14th in this conference because you'll never get a recruit. So I knew right away, that's kind of why we went the transfer route for a little bit, right? We wanted to make sure we were competitive while we go out there and recruit the whole country and get these top kids in here and enable them to have a chance to redshirt, build a team. So we're without being 14th in the country or in the conference for 2 years.
Yeah, obviously. Proved to be a good strategy. You guys have been in the mix. How are you feeling about your whole squad as you head into Big Tens, Coach?
We're excited. You know what I mean? Our guys, I think they're going to find this. Let me just say this. We've wrestled the top teams in the conference this year. So when we get to the Big Ten tournament, our guys are ready. Our guys are battle tested. They know who they have to wrestle, and they've already competed against them. So I'm excited for them. We've got a chance to wrestle and show what we've been training, and we'll see what happens. But we want to make sure we wrestle hard and try to get as many guys to the NCAA tournament as possible.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask a question. 'Cause I think some people are sleeping on this, and they're excited about Mason Paris versus Gable Stevenson. But that match, Hilger and Mason Paris, which was in Madison, was a freaking outstanding match. A lot of scrambles. Ended up being 3-1 with Paris getting the only takedown. You know, obviously you guys feel like that's a match Trent can win. Do you think he's going to win it in the scrambles, or is he going to have to get his offense going?
I think we got to get our offense going, but you got to be careful when you're wrestling, Mason, and really opening yourself up. As you guys know, you get stuck in there, he grabs your arm, he's looking at barrel rolling you and outside fireman's carry and, getting 6 points, and that puts the match way out of reach, So Trent did a great job of picking and choosing, almost had a takedown off of one of his attacks, but I also think we got to do a little better job of getting away, and then even a better job of riding the guy. One of our strengths is on top, and we didn't ride real hard. So we get a chance to get on top, and we get a chance to get a takedown. And then, of course, if we win a scramble, man, it's we're going to be right in that thing to be able to compete with them.
Are you surprised to see the level jump that Mason has seen just in 1 year from last year to this year?
No, he's a great kid, right? He's had success at every level. He's, from what I hear, he's a hard worker. He's got a great coach, got great coaches in his corner. You think about it, he was a true freshman, right? That's why in this sport we redshirt most of our freshmen, coming out of high school. Would you guys be saying it's such a big jump if this was his redshirt year and he's undefeated? Probably not, right? But you saw him probably as an 18, 19-year-old kid who didn't have access to a Division I weight room, didn't have access to Division I coaches, didn't have access to Division I nutrition, Big Ten nutrition program. So, no, I think that's what the advantages of coming to a Big Ten school is you're going to have a first-class coaching staff, a first-class nutrition program, first-class, weightlifting program, partners everywhere, and the chance to be as good as you really want to be. So, no, I'm not surprised. I think everybody can make that jump if they're willing to work hard and utilize all the resources they have around them.
Yeah. All right, a lot of coaches don't want to answer this question, but I kind of ask anyways, because why not? Well, who is your favorite guy to watch that's not on your team in Division I wrestling?
Man, I don't watch many other guys unless they're wrestling against them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't pinpoint one guy.
Who would you want to wrestle that's on another team?
Who would I want to wrestle?
Yeah, like this would be a fun match.
DeSanto, no doubt about it.
You gonna keep him off? Are you gonna now? What would you do? Would you hide the elbow like Seth and RBY do, or what?
I'd get taken down a couple of times early for sure, and then we come back and scrap and fight and then get after it.
How many
got taken down early?
Yeah, how many points are taken away from each of you throughout the course of that 7 minutes? A lot. You know, Kyle Brackey. You know, he's our dual ranker, but he also keeps track of another key metric, and that's team points taken away in dual.
0 for the Badgers. 0.
I am stunned.
Really?
I'm actually disappointed more than anything. Fresno State balling out with 6. Brackey, fill us in.
Yeah, so I do our box scores at the end of every week, and I'd always see teams getting points taken away. So I was like, you know what? This year I'm going to track who has the most team points taken away, and we were going to ask you about it, and then turns out you're not even on the list.
How do you pull that off? Because you're a wild man. You are not calm.
Calm, cool, and collective. Calm, cool, and collective.
You're maybe cool, but you're a wild. I guess is your is it how you talk to the officials? What is it? The secret sauce?
No, it's all about where you listen. It's where you step on the mat. That's it. If you put your foot on the mat, you're going to get a team point. So what I do is I talk to them beforehand. What are my rules? Where can I go this match? Tell me where you're going to call a team point. And you know what's funny is we have all these rules written down, and every rule is different.
Man. Okay, yeah.
Right?
That is a good.
You lose a team point. If you step across the line, you lose a team point. You know, if you go down in front of the scores table, you lose a team point. You know, so I just ask them, where do you want me? Where do you want me? Where can I go? And I'll listen to the referees.
Wow.
But they let you kind of go alongside the mat, right? At least there at home, as long as you don't step on it.
Yep. And then you can't go in front of the scores table. That's a no-no. Big time.
Ooh. Yeah. South Dakota State, you'd go wherever you wanted. You were slapping the mat in big duels.
Wait, we had fans out there slapping the mat.
Yeah. I remember a kid, like, you took out a kid.
Yeah, you ran over a kid.
Yeah, you took out
Oh, my goodness.
Adorable 3-year-old.
Hey, let me ask you this. You've been recruiting for a long time. You've been everywhere. Is there a high school state tournament as great as the Wisconsin high school state tournament?
Yeah, but man, it was sold out, huh?
That's what I'm saying. It's packed, and people freaking love it.
Packed.
Yeah.
What state tournaments did you attend recruiting this year?
The state of Wisconsin is amazing. Amazing.
Did you go to any other state tournaments?
Yeah, I did. I'm not sure how much I can talk about that on here, so I want to make sure I don't get in trouble.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he won't even comment on how awesome the Wisconsin State tournament is because you are a rule-abiding citizen. I love it.
Oh my gosh, what a square! Come on, coach. I see other coaches are tweeting, looking for some future studs at Minnesota.
Hey, and guess what? You're not allowed to do that.
Oh snap!
Oh,
so
against the rules.
Yeah.
Who did that, Christian Piles? Whose Twitter was that?
No way. You do some research. I'm not.
Get on Twitter.
I ain't no snitch.
What do you,
oh my God.
Coach Bono? What do you think about officials being able to take team points away? Do you think we should stick with that, or do you think we could move to like a technical then like ejection system?
Yeah, I like that. I like throwing them out. I think that would be great. Right? I do. I think you should throw them out. It's like right. I've been listening to Nomad. And at first I ignored it, right? But then now I'm right. What other sport do you take the point away? You know, get rid of the coach or penalize the team in a different way. You know, I don't know how, but I think if the coach is the problem and he's causing all of it, you know, get rid of him. And you know what? You guys watch international wrestling. They don't take crap from the coach. You go near the coach, boom, you go sit down. Oh, you don't go sit down? Here's a yellow card. Oh, you want to argue? Here's a red card. You're out. I like it. You're right. Yeah. We are not the show. We shouldn't be the show. Sometimes we are. Sometimes I am, and I don't want to be. Right? I can't help myself. But the guys are out there fighting and scrapping. We should not be getting team points, taken away. Get rid of the coach.
Dang, I would love it. Would you ever, all right, let's say the duel's not going great. You need to fire up the squad. Would you ever kind of like fabricate an ejection, get real loud just to fire up the troops? Because you see that in like baseball and other sports. Would you ever get ejected intentionally?
Yeah. I mean, if that's part of the rule, let's whatever I got to do to get the team rolling. I would love to do for sure. I don't know if I'd get intentionally I might get a yellow card, but I don't know if I could. I don't know if I can go as far as getting thrown out.
I hope this rule gets passed, and then all I want is for one coach to lose it so bad they start untaping the mat. That would be the ultimate. Because they take the bases away in the baseball. Some dude just starts untaping the mat. That would just That'd be
What
a dream
about
come true.
throwing chairs? That's still one of my favorite temper tantrums.
That was a temper
Bobby
tantrum.
Knight chucking the chair. That was great.
That's all
Oh,
time.
that would be
Yeah,
funny.
what a maniac! Holy cow, Bobby Knight. All right. So what's I don't know what else is going on. Any other should we?
What about Insta-Death?
Oh yeah, you like that?
Oh, yeah, let's do
Seth
it.
Gross would have his body count would be out of control.
You know what? I really do enjoy it. I wouldn't mind it because whatever we can do to take stalling away from these referees when you're on top and bottom,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Right? It's such a subjective call that if you know the end result, if you get ridden for 4 minutes and the match is over, I think you'd have some guys trying to get off their belly.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, what is the start? Where do you fall on the step out point rule?
I think we should get rid of. Yeah, I like that. I think a step out point is good, and I only say that because I want it to be easy for the official.
Yes.
Right? It's black and white. Who stepped out? You know, I don't care what the point is, whether it's a point or a stall call or whatever. But it's too hard. It's too hard right now for these referees. Is it pushing? Is it one referee calls it this way, one guy calls it that way. I think you're putting the referee in a bad situation, and I think it's eliminating the calls of traditional stalling, because let's just say you push the guy out in the first 5 seconds. Now the referee's put himself in a situation where he had to call that. Now the guy's been stalling for the last 4 minutes, and the score is 1-1. He's not going to call that traditional stall call to end the match for a guy.
Yeah.
So I think it should be black and white, and I know the referees would agree with make it black and white for them.
What's the holdup? What's the stop? Can't you help push this through?
Man, I don't know. I know we talk about it at the convention every year about we got to get on. We got to get the rules committee and everybody to vote on it. We got to figure out how to get it through.
Well, last year at the convention, everyone was just yelling about RTCs. It seemed.
Oh boy.
What was that?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy, he's right. Yeah, there was a lot of yelling and screaming. There'll probably be a lot more, in this summer's convention. But there's no rules. We got to find a way to police the RTCs.
Oh boy, I like the RTCs. I don't want any harm coming.
Man, that's coming up, isn't it? That's about to start happening again here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
the NCAAs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gonna happen again for sure. They're like a dog on a bone with that stuff. Okay. One final gross question. So he has the match against DeSanto and Carver. It didn't even look like Seth Gross. I mean, DeSanto just takes him out. No problem. He makes the adjustments at Midlands. What were the adjustments? What were the things you said you have to do these things technically differently to beat us and DeSanto?
I think I said this before. He was already telling me his adjustments when he was coming off the mat in Carver Hawkeye. And that's the way he works. You know what I mean? I got to finish my attacks. I got to his leg twice early in the period, and he stalemated. I finished one of those. I'm gonna ride him out, and it's going to be over. I should have picked top. Going into the second period, I think it was. You know what I mean? So there was. If you think about it, if he finishes that first takedown, rides him out, picks top, and he rides him out. I mean, what happens? You know what I mean? In the third period. So whatever, it is what it is, right? I think where Gross is good is each match is going to present a different scenario, right? He might get taken down. He might get the takedown. And with each scenario that is created, he has an answer for that scenario. I think that's what separates him from a lot of guys. For me, if I got taken down to my back right away, I was in big trouble. I didn't know any better but to stand up and just go harder. You know what I mean? He can have a different scenario for each action that happens in a match.
Yeah.
So for all these guys that think the second time or third time around it's going to be the same match, it's not going to be. Love
it. Well, I'm excited for it. 133 at the Big Tens. Also excited for 165. It looks like we're headed for the seventh meeting between Evan Wick and Alex Marinelli, if those guys can hold their seeds. But of late, it's been Marinelli having the advantage there, winning the matches. What are your thoughts on that matchup, and what does Wick need to do to reverse the trend there?
Well, we got to get a takedown. We haven't had a takedown in the last couple matches against him, so we got to get a takedown, and and then we got to make sure that you don't get post double legged, or and in the match in Carver, I believe Marinelli scored off of our attacks. We took attack and held on, and he cross ankle picked us from a friend headlock. But so we did a great job in that match. We improved in our hand fighting, which was a big emphasis. We improved with him not getting to our legs. But then again, when we got to, we took a couple bad shots and he countered us a little bit. But Evan's mindset's right. Evan's ready to go fight for 7 minutes, and if we can get to his legs and implement our game plan. The last 4 matches have been all Marinelli's game plan. Evan will be ready, and we just got to go out and wrestle.
Do you see him choosing top?
Again, it depends on the scenario. I mean, it depends what period's our choice. It depends what's going on in the match. It depends the flow of the match. All of that. So you can't guarantee he's going to pick top. If he's losing 4-0, you pick top. If he's winning 3-0, or if it's 1-1, if it's 0-0, what do you do? Right. I think it's all about stall calls and scenarios, and you make that call, on the run.
Nice. Bracky or Ben, anything else for Coach Bono?
I got nothing.
I'm good. It was great.
Might run into you at the Annie Ann's at the Newark Airport tomorrow. I think we landed about the same time. Coach.
I know you, Piles. You put that junk into your body. I saw you in Vegas.
No, I don't. That was 2015 CP. I've made some adjustments, brother. I'm on the path. Yeah, I'm doing better.
You're starting to sound like a lot of ex-wrestlers. I don't do that. I don't eat that. And you see them at McDonald's breaking it down.
I'm not saying I don't occasionally eat poorly, but in general, my exercise is a lot higher. I eat a lot better.
Real quick, before I go, let's answer that question that I saw on Twitter last night. Who's eating the 20 hot dogs for 5 straight days? Who's running that?
Oh, that was a funny one.
That was my favorite question. I'm going to read it real quick. Hold on. All right, from Steely Phil. He asked a lot of funny questions. All right. Complete a 75-mile race in under 24 hours. Stay in a solitary confinement room for 10 days straight. Eat 20 hot dogs for 5 consecutive days. You have to take an event. Who completes what?
So I got a question. Is this like what we would prefer to do? Because it's me, you, and Bracky, or are we playing strings? Because I don't know if I can make it 10 days in solitary confinement. I might go in totally insane.
I seriously would hate that so much. It might be the best thing for me, but I'm way too social.
You could do it. Ben, you could do the solitary confinement.
10 days in the clinic?
Yeah, it's solitary. That means like I can't talk to anyone or read anything. Can I read? If I have some books, I could probably do it. Just sitting there.
I thought it was.
You could talk to yourself. You'd be good, man.
10 days? That's so long. I mean, I really need to know, like, what's the iPad situation? Do I get to download some Netflix shows? Where am I at?
You definitely don't get Netflix or an iPad. Maybe a book or two.
I get a book.
That would still be hard.
That would be hard. The thing about that's a totally mental test. 75 mile in under 24 hours is like, that's a legitimate distance to do. That's not just something like, oh, I'll just be tough and do 75 miles. Like, that would require probably some training. Ben, I worry about you in that one, buddy.
It's only slightly over walking pace though, so I think I could do it. You could walk a mile. Okay, if you walk a mile in 20 minutes, that's 3 miles an hour on the treadmill. That's a walking pace. I think you could walk it like 3.5 miles on the treadmill. So 3.5 miles per hour on the treadmill, you could probably walk it. I know this because my weight cutting strategy when I'm weight cutting for fights is you run really slow with, obviously you can use plastics in fighting, right? So I run really slow, let's say like 5.5, maybe 6. And then I walk, and I usually walk at 3 or 3.5. So I know that, in fact, that it's walking pace, even with plastics on, even cutting weight, 3 or 3.5 is walking pace.
So it's like 3 miles an hour. 70.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. Because one, it's a day. It's not that long.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't have to take 24 hours. Maybe I'll just knock it out in 3. You never know. Maybe I'll be really fast.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That was a joke.
What about I haven't eaten a hot dog since age 11, so that would be I find them repulsive.
Hey, you know me, this body's a temple, so I'm not throwing 20 hot dogs in there.
Bono just threw you under the bus. He said you eat junk.
2015 CP. That's the old me.
What were you eating?
Dude.
Oh, dude, he busted me.
3:45 in the morning. We're going to catch a flight. I walk into the Vegas airport. We're heading home. I don't know, from the U.S. Open.
Those
This dude is smashing like 4 pieces of pizza.
Oh my
with
goodness.
everything on it. Yeah, it was. He had red sauce around his lips, and it was,
That's not. Hey, yeah. So it was coming back from Worlds. I'm almost positive. And
World.
man, that's a long week. Worlds is long. We did FRL every day, all day. I was at a breaking point, and there was a Sbarro open. I just ordered a bunch of pizza. I'm just sitting there by myself. I'm like, you don't even think about like I'm gonna see all these wrestling people, and they're gonna see all the choices I'm making. And man, Bono and Reader did not hold back when they saw me with my first Sbarro slices.
That was too funny.
During the stuff. So 20. Okay,
I couldn't eat that many hot dogs in a day.
that is so many.
Yeah.
20 hot dogs.
Ugh, so gross.
That's disgusting. We'll probably start to smell like our pores will emanate that smell. So I'm going 75 miles in under 24 hours because only 3 miles an hour. If Ben could do it, I can do it.
Yeah, if you can just walk it. I can walk for 24 hours straight.
Yeah. And there's nothing stopping us from eating. All right. So thank you, Coach Bone. What would you do?
Definitely the 75 miles.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, that's good. I'm glad we have that out of the way. So, Steely Phil, you got to up the mileage, I guess, for us to consider the other things. Or lower the solitary confinement 10 straight days. I would maybe do 24 hours, but I think beyond that, I would start to lose it for sure. All right, Coach. Well, I guess you have a team. What are y'all doing today? You going to practice?
Actually, today's a recovery day for us. We went hard Monday and Tuesday, Sunday night, Monday and Tuesday. We're going to recover today. Guys are on their own to get their recovery in and get what they need, and then we're flying out in the morning.
Just chugging some Badger Max,
Nice.
replenishing the. Did you ever drink Badger Max, Ben?
No, I have not drank Badger Max.
Man, it's think about Gatorade, but terrible. That's Badger Max. All right. Well, hey, thanks so much, Coach. I'll see you. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you in New Jersey.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
All
Have a
right,
good
guys.
one.
Thanks a lot.
Safe travels. Wash your hands.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right, got a little standard precautions, wash your hands stuff in there. Don't want anyone.
We have a zero tolerance policy. If
Yeah.
you come to work here sick, you're gone.
You're gone. Zero tolerance.
Right now, or is this like normal, or is this just like coronavirus season?
Just during coronavirus.
We've been in contact with the CDC.
Yeah, we had a whole meeting about all the things we can and can't do. International.
Yeah, I don't want to start a whole thing about it, but it is seeming less scary. But now with the Arnolds being canceled, guys, you got to have at least a little bit of worry about the NCAAs and the Olympic trials, which are now 2.5 weeks and 4.5 weeks away, respectively. I'm kind of worried. I'm a little bit worried.
I'm not worried.
I'm not worried at all.
Not me either.
I think it's fine.
What? You're not worried about that? I mean, like, it's not you get to make the call, Christian. It's the NCAA, which is a huge organization.
It's my decision to make, Ben. I meant to tell you that.
He's pulling the strings.
I'm pulling the strings, bro. No, yeah, I know that. I just don't think. I don't think it's risen to that level where it's like, oh, our events are really in jeopardy. I mean, I think in the Olympics, I'm not saying that's not in the cards or could be definitely in danger, but I think Big Tens, NCAAs, Olympic trials, I just don't see it. I hope not, but
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. Also, hey, Kyle, I kind of mentioned this to Christian in a text with all of us. I thought you brought up. I thought we were gonna legit do this nickname bracket thing. I thought that was gonna be so much fun. I was really looking forward to it.
No, I think we can, just not right now. We all have so much on our plates with Big Tens and NCAA. Maybe the week in between Big Tens and NCAAs we can get it started. But no, I want to do it. We just need a little bit more time.
Is it a 16-man bracket?
That's what we got to figure out.
No pigtails. No pigtails.
How big do we want to make it?
Yeah.
I think probably 32. Christian, who's your favorite nickname?
Favorite nickname in college wrestling?
We'll say active college wrestling.
It's Gas Tank Gary. That's iconic. That's the best.
Are
That's
we-
not just because I love Gas Tank Gary. It's like that is a great nickname.
Are we like confining it to current wrestlers, or is it like all time?
I think at least if we're in college season, I think we should at least do this one in college season, and then maybe a different time we do any wrestler of any era can be in it or something.
It's interesting. Some of the greats don't really have nicknames. Like Spencer doesn't really have a nickname. Mark Hall. I mean, a lot of the really good guys don't. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to come up with some. Seabass is obviously a great one. DeSanchise. No one really calls him DeSanchise, but I think me.
That's a good nickname, though.
Yeah, it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of myself on that one. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can come up with that between conference and NCAAs. Hey, by the way, we're going to have a bracket breakdown show Wednesday when the brackets come out next week.
Ooh, nice.
That's going to be so fun. So, you guys loved that last year. So, one of our core values is to make stuff fans love. So, you love it, we will make it to the best of our ability. So, that will be exciting. Wednesday evening, I don't know the exact time for when all that stuff's going to come out, but it's going to happen. It's going to be very fun. And then we'll have a week and a half to pour through these brackets. It's going to be a great time.
Also, real quick, Coach Bono said he couldn't say where he went? Campbell coach Scotty Sintes says you can go where you can say where you went.
I don't know. Coach Bono, he seems like he has a pretty good grasp of the rules.
No,
like
I agree, but
yeah.
I saw all weekend coaches posting
You know what, though?
where they went.
Here's the thing. Here's why they could both be right. Because it's like totally on your school's interpretation of the NCAA
That's
rules.
true.
It's not actually spelled out. So I was talking,
Yes.
who is
Whatever your compliance office says.
Yeah, like Coach Beasley, like he knows the rules inside and out. But then ultimately, he's like, really, your school kind of says whether you're in or you're out. And one school will say, yeah, this is no good. So it's really kind of highlights kind of how the NCAA rule set is like makes no sense and is maybe a little antiquated in a lot of ways. Because Coach Sintes, the Campbell compliance could say, yeah, you're free to go wherever you want, and you can tweet about it. That's well within the rules. And then Wisconsin, maybe they're just more strict in a certain area, or other maybe it's a Big Ten thing.
Yeah, because there's some schools they literally make graphics for when their coaches go to visit places.
Yeah, so I don't
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've seen
Wow,
Northern
I haven't seen
Colorado, App State, North Carolina all make kind of like graphics like, oh, we got Coach so-and-so heading out to Illinois.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is weird.
What else is going on Facebook? Any other D1 coaches in the comments there?
No, just Sintes right now.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right, so we have other conferences that we haven't really got into. We barely got through Big Tens. Do you want to talk a little ACC action there, Ben, or where do you want to go?
Yeah, ACC's got some fun brackets. I checked those out last night. Obviously, the ACC is vastly improved over where it was, say, five years ago. What bracket was the one that I'm going to shoot? I clicked our
65 is good, 84.
Yeah, 84 is the obvious. There was another one, maybe 33 or 41 that I really liked. Hold on, I'm going to get our doc back up.
Yeah, 33.
Which one's your favorite?
Well, I would 65. I want to see the McFadden Bullard rematch. I want to see McFadden Monday rematch. I think that's exciting to me. I think 41 is really fun. With Tariq Wilson, the 1, the 2, Sherman, 3 Moore, 4 Cole Matthews, 5 Brian Courtney. That's a pretty fun weight class. Those guys are tough.
All legit dudes coming out of high school too.
Yeah, super legit.
Yeah.
65 I really like. 74 no thanks. 84 is an obvious.
You just said no thanks.
No thanks.
That's rude.
It's not rude.
That's rude.
What? I have to like every weight
That
class,
was
Ben?
rude.
What was rude about
You
it?
don't have to like it, but no
listen-
thanks is a little.
No thanks.
too
Oh
far.
my gosh! Listen to you two, Ben.
My
PC
gimmick is being the asshole, Christian. You're the good guy. You can't be saying no thanks.
No thanks. I just no thanks. I just compared to Hunter Bolin, Trent Hidley, and Nino Bonacorsi, I say no thanks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know which bracket I really liked. I think 157 is gonna have some really fun matchups.
You
That's
do?
the one I really liked.
Why do you think that?
Yeah. Well, BC LeProd's having a pretty solid year. Talib Rahmani's, he's hot and cold. AC Headley's having a solid year, and obviously Hayden Hidley's really good. And even Justin McCoy's, had a decent year. So that's gonna be a pretty fun bracket. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun bracket.
Yep. Big fan of BC LeProd. Shout out New Kent, Virginia. Yeah. What are your thoughts on 65? How do you see that going? Do you think? Monday literally technical fouled David McFadden.
Yeah.
We also.
I want to get my. Did Wenzel and Monday wrestle? I'm blanking on that matchup. because Wenzel's pretty tough, and Monday's obviously dropped some matches again who weren't all that good. I'm gonna search Wenzel real quick.
I don't think he's lost to Wenzel. Yeah, he beat him 8-5.
Okay, so you got to think Kennedy is probably the favorite in that match.
Yes.
But he's had results. He lost to Zach Hartman. He lost to Josh Shields. He lost to Phil Canigliaro from Harvard. So he's had some down matches. Obviously, the up matches where he tech falls David McFadden. So I think you could very easily see him losing that, but he could drop a match to one of the. There's four really tough guys in the bracket. He could definitely drop a match there.
Yeah, I really think Monday's excellent, but the consistency still hasn't been there. He got rolled over by Hartman, which was pretty surprising just in how that went down. So I think McFadden gets it back on track, but the loss to Bullard was so surprising to me. I just did not see that coming, and it materialized exactly how you would have expected it to if you said Bullard wins this match. It's like McFadden's going to attack the whole time. Great counters, good defense from Bullard, tough ride, and the blueprint was followed by Bullard.
His the way he was kind of like tying up McFadden reminded me of Roshkoff.
Mm-hmm.
How he beat McFadden.
He
going
tech-falled McFadden at some point.
Yes, in the duel.
Roshkoff was really good. He's apparently doing really good. I follow him on Twitter. I think he's doing pretty good. I don't know if he's fighting or doing jiu-jitsu. I think he's doing.
He just won a fight.
No, he's fighting. He's like 7-0 or something, I believe.
He seems like he would be good at fighting.
He just tapped some dude out, yeah.
Yeah, he is good at jiu-jitsu. I know that much. I don't know what it.
He's 5-0. I made a mistake. He's 5-0, not 7-0. But yeah, he's having a really solid beginning to his fighting career.
Yeah. Cool. So go him. All right, so 65, who are you picking?
I think Kennedy's probably the safe pick. But it's again another one where if McFadden wins, like, oh my gosh, McFadden won. I'll go Kennedy because he's beaten all these guys this year.
Yeah, I think McFadden. I think in my mind, everything regresses to the mean or whatever. So returns to the mean. So I think the mean is McFadden up and Monday slight regression. And Monday's lost 2 of his last 3, so he's not coming in like. Actually, 2 of his last 4, excuse me. So he's not coming in like on fire. He lost 6-2 to Josh Shields, which if you think Kennedy's an All-American, that's a match he should be maybe more competitive in or definitely win. So
yeah,
I'm taking McFaddy Daddy as well.
Yeah, out of the 3, who are you taking at 84? I have no idea what to do here, except I do.
Yeah,
I'm going 100.
Well, I think that's the easier one because. You look at Bonacorsi and Hidley, that's a really tough match, right? So, maybe you say, I don't care what you want to say, one of those guys wins, say 60-40, 70-30, right? And then you in the finals, and even if you bowl and you say 50-50, you times the 50% by the percentage they had winning the previous match, and bowling's chances of winning are much higher. So that was a little math work for you guys. I don't know if you guys are math teachers.
No, I was not. I taught special education.
Suck at math.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm really bad math.
You lost
student.
me.
Okay.
You lost me.
So by probabilities, Bowman is the easy choice.
Right.
Yes.
Except I think you just have to pick. To me, I know Nino just beat Bolin, but I think if you look, it's going to be Bolin versus Hidley. I just really don't see it. So now we're just picking who do we think would win that match. Who do you think would win Bolin versus Hidley?
Well, I think that's flawed thinking because Bonacorsi is not 0% against Hidley. I mean, he's probably 20 to 30% minimum. There's a decent chance he's gonna win that match. You're saying 0.
I'm not saying
0.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say 0.
I'm not saying 0.
But it was not a great match. It did not look like a good matchup for Bonacorsi when they wrestled in the duel. I think Trent had 3 takedowns to 3 escapes from Bonacorsi, and he just didn't have an answer for that underhook offense. So I actually like the matchup for Trent. But then Bolin gave Trent a bunch of problems in the duel. So
yeah. To me, it's matchup based. It's not like how good they are. Like Nino and Trent, there's not a big disparity in their talent, but the matchup to me is what makes it like I don't see how this gets reverse course. So. Yeah. I see Hidley beating Nino because that's a bad matchup, and I see Bolin beating Trent because he happens to match up well against Trent. So that's how I look at it.
We're all picking Bolin for several reasons.
For very different reasons.
I kind of want to raise the rough
Oh God!
and take Trent.
Wait, what?
You missed this.
Trent doesn't raise the rough. It's Gannon freaking Gremmel raises the rough.
Trent does it.
G Grimm.
Then yeah,
G Grimm did this.
Yeah,
it's all on your finger direction.
G Grimm was going under, but he was doing it in the middle of the match, and Dresser was like, "Let's maybe not raise the rough at the end of the second period." A little too early to be raising the rough.
That's like my favorite quote of the year. Oh, it's so
raising the rough.
Maybe. That's so great.
I like, bring it back. This is the let me hear it, and this is raising the roof.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that. Okay. Well, I like Hidley to win that one and then fall to Bolin, but that's going to be obviously a really fun one. Interesting nugget. If you're curious, how do the seeds favor which team? Projected team points. This is just projected seeding points. You can't yell at me for this. This is how it's seeded. NC State 156, Pitt 148, UNC 147.5, Tech 133, UVA 129, Duke 78.5. It's not going to really look like that, but that directionally is probably how it's how the seeds play out. So pretty interesting that NC State and then Pitt, whereas maybe you would have thought that'd be Tech or UNC fighting for that second spot. But I think all those teams have opportunities to win. I think if you look at the seeds, Tech has a big opportunity at 165, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the way the seeds, I don't know what their scoring is because I don't know if they're using just general 16 team or whatever. But there's obviously gonna be a gigantic discrepancy between first and fourth since there's only 6 teams. And when you look at some of these brackets, you could very easily see someone who is a 4 seed making the finals. I think that's definitely who do we just talk about 165 beating Kennedy Monday?
Well, Hartman did beat him, but it was Wenzel that he'll likely have in the
No, Wenzel, right? So, Wenzel, if he goes from, in a 6-person bracket, if he goes from 4th place points to 1st place points, that's a gigantic jump for Pitt, right? And so I think you see those a few different places where the guy could, say at 174, if you saw Cody Hughes or Clay Lout, if they beat Greg Harvey, that's not insane. And so I think that the points can sway very easily in this.
All right, so Ben, I don't know if you know much about West Virginia rivalries and stuff, but Kyle Brackey.
I don't even know where you're going with this.
Kyle Brackey hates Pitt. That is
He
the
does?
main. Oh my gosh! So that is the rivalry. Explain the rivalry, Kyle.
Well, I mean, the schools are separated by 60 miles, and growing up a huge West Virginia football fan, that was a big rivalry. They played over 100 times. It's called the Backyard Brawl. But it doesn't really translate over to wrestling that much, though. Just because,
how do you not like Keith Gavin and these guys?
Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's hard to hate wrestling schools that sponsor wrestling.
Yeah, Keith Gavin's pretty unhateable.
I know. I don't hate Keith Gavin. I don't hate the Pitt wrestling program.
All right, well,
It's the football and basketball programs.
All right, so they're immune.
They can eat it.
Yeah, there's a very profane thing they say about Pitt in West Virginia. We cannot say it on air. You probably would, Ben.
I'm sure they say a few. They say a few profane things about West Virginia people too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they try to do the whole look down at us thing and try to say we're not rivals and they're really rivals with Penn State, but Penn State doesn't even acknowledge their existence. So
I would say it would be more something like dating your sister or something.
Oh well, yeah,
very cliche.
They can't come up with anything else.
To which Kyle Brackey replies. Kyle Brackey replies, "Love is love," and who's to say? So yeah, all right, but yeah, Pitt has a good team. Greg Harvey's been a real surprise for me this year. He looks like he could be a conference champion. He's the number 1 seed at 174 pounds, so they're looking pretty good. And obviously Demetrius Thomas, a really tough guy. He's probably one of the bigger favorites to win the weight at 285.
I mean, what Gavin and them have done there in 2 years is incredible. They're a top 10 dual team. They're a top 25 tournament team. They were great last year as well too. So hats off to them.
I'm excited to see where they're at in 5-6 years.
Yeah, they're recruiting really well too.
After they really get it going, get it cooking.
That Whipple area is so good. I mean, you saw that graphic where just Whipple, not Pennsylvania, just Whipple had four guys ranked number one at one time. It was Kemmer, Spencer, Pletcher, and Vincenzo. Is that the fourth one?
He's
Pittsburgh Central
Yeah.
Catholic, yeah.
So I mean, with that Whipple areas, you would definitely argue that's if you just talk about like say put a dot in a 50-mile radius, you could make an argument that's the best wrestling area in the country. I mean, there's a few different places you can make the argument about, but that's definitely one of them.
Well, and also you have to consider the proximity to Cleveland, right? Like they're right there where Cleveland is,
and their proximity to West Virginia.
So they've got that Parkersburg pipeline set up. So yeah, it really is like.
We had a kid go there for a second, Lou Thomas.
Go to Pitt?
Yeah, he won Powerade and stuff. He went to Pitt for a hot second.
Well, there you go.
What happened? What happened to him, Kyle?
He ended up transferring to West Virginia. He came home.
He came back.
Yeah.
And then what?
He
never qualified for nationals or anything, but he was three-timer in West Virginia. He won Powerade. He was kind of a tweener. Like he spent a little bit of his time at 97, but he was cutting a lot to make that, and then he was a small heavy. But Lou was very good.
Those are really tough. I think we have to have some action just for Ben and the Tiger style stuff.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm actually considering
going.
Ohio Bobcats, baby.
All this
I'm considering going to the finals. It's in DeKalb, which is like an hour and a half away on Sunday. I have not locked myself into that, but I'm thinking I might go down there.
Okay, well, the most interesting weight to me is 141. I don't know if that's the best weight, but I looked at it and I declare it the best weight. It's the one I'm most interested in. Number 1 seed, Dresden Simon of Central Michigan. Number 2, Evan Cheek. Number 3, Sedarian Perry. Number 4, Kyle Shoup. Number 5, Grant Leith. Number 6, Shakur Laney. 7, Alex Madrigal. 8, Peter Lipari. Those are all good guys. Mm-hmm. All those wrestlers are good at wrestling. And Grant Leith, to me, is like, well, what a wrinkle this guy could potentially be. What he's been before, how talented he is. Obviously, injuries have derailed a lot of his career, but when he's been healthy, even with the neck brace, the guy is dang good.
41's a really good. What happened? You lost me?
You're kind of frozen.
Oh, am I good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Grant Leith he's had a very up and down season. I don't know. I try not to ask too many tough questions when I talk to him. It's usually easy stuff. But I think the weight cuts affect him a little bit, and he's had the really up and down performance. He has the lineup full time, right? They've put other guys in the lineup sometimes. So hopefully we see a really good performance out of him. I think we could also. I think 149 is also a really interesting weight class. You go. Obviously, Brock Mahler's the number 1. Zach Roll, Colston DeBlasi, Tyshawn Williams, Al Kagan, a bunch of tough guys in that weight class also.
That is a good one.
57's not bad.
And Mahler, coming into this year, it's like, man, this guy maybe is on the short list of guys that can win a title, and maybe he's still on that list, but he's had some lapses that make you think, all right, maybe not. So
wait, I thought he's only lost one match, Christian.
He had a super tight match with who was it?
Tyshawn Williams, I think, overtime.
Yes. It was Tyshawn.
I think the only loss is Jensen from Wyoming, right?
Lost to Jensen, which I mean, throw that out maybe, but at the same time, it also happened, right? He did beat Boo, which is a good win. So I don't know. He was just in, 3-2 over Seth Hogan. So he's had some close matches. Is my point, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. But he's won his last quite a few. So he's doing fine. Okay, so but as Tiger style, they're favored to win this, right?
Yeah. I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. No, I don't think there's anyone else is very close to them at this point in time.
No,
and they've won a whole bunch of MAC titles. I mean, I really do like a lot what these conferences are doing, where they're the Pac-12 obviously grew into. I'm sorry, not the Pac-12. The Big 12 grew a whole bunch of teams. The MAC now has 16 teams. I like this way better than what it was previously, where there were a lot of smaller conferences. I like these bigger conference tournaments. They're way better for the athletes.
So based on our MAC ranking, our latest set of MAC rankings, Missouri's favorite over Central Michigan by 20 points or so.
I got sent some more NCAA compliant stuff. I'm not sure about talking about this stuff. So a PSA, which is prospective student athletes, location cannot be referenced directly or indirectly in social media posts referring to Georgia as the Peach State and or using a peach meme. I love they call it a peach meme. They mean emoji. Doesn't change anything. But that doesn't say you can go to the Minnesota State tournament. That doesn't mean you're like.
That's like talking about a certain.
That's an individual. You're not talking about an individual. You're just like, I'm at the Minnesota State tournament recruiting. So,
right.
I don't know. Could be kind of a gray area.
Seems like a gray area.
It's a gray area, so therefore it's fine. As long as it's gray, as long as you can prove that it's gray, I think you can do it. So Coach Bono should have said where he went, even though he already said he went to Wisconsin. So what's the difference? All right. Yeah. So that was the Maction. We haven't seen no Big 12 pre-seeds at any point?
No, I think today. I saw Iowa State tweet today.
Okay, so hopefully those come.
I think in the Pac-12 it would be the last. Actually, I don't think I've seen SoCon either. What the heck?
We didn't talk about EIWAs, did we?
Oh, no, we didn't. And these guys.
Yeah, because there's a couple that are disaster, Christian.
Tee it up, Ben. Let them know.
Well,
be heard.
Number one, they got the GOAT seeded number 4, and that does not mess with the GOAT. Who they're really messing with here is Patrick Brookie. Now, Darmstadt already beat Brookie, so why are you? What is that? Not his name?
Brookie.
What's Brookie? Okay, whatever. Brookie. Okay, Darmstadt already beat Brookie, so you're really jacking up Brookie, and they did the same thing with Kolodzik, putting him at the 4. That doesn't really screw Kolodzik. That screws the number 1 guy.
Yeah. The EIWA, it's a very EIWA move. I think they have like a formula. It's all these smart schools, so they don't want to have a formula.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
But it makes some craziness like that. But there's a chance maybe there's like a night before seating meeting where they can square some of this up. Because, yeah, Ben Darmstadt and Pat Brookie hitting in the semis doesn't seem ideal for the conference or for Pat Brookie. So I think for all parties involved, it would make sense to split those guys up.
Yeah, for sure.
As I'm not aware of a head-to-head win for Koser or Jacobson over Darmstadt. Obviously, he spent some time at 184, but he's been pretty solid up at 197.
Yeah, they just penalizing him for not wrestling. I don't know. He's wrestled there a good bit.
He tried to win 2 NCAA weights this year. Sue him. I don't think that should hurt his seeding. So yeah, that's a weird one. How about one thing that stuck out to me was Travis Stefanik at the 6 seed. That's a guy that's pretty dang good. That I don't know if he can go with the Dupreys or the Weilers or even the Stewarts, but I could see him jumping up there a little bit. As he's a pretty tough guy. Pretty tough EIWA tournament in general. I mean, Slavikuski seated over Jordan Wood seems that like sticks out to me as well.
Yeah.
Like why is that? I mean, am I unaware of some Jordan Wood loss result?
Do we know what their formula is?
I tried to find it on the site and couldn't find it.
It could be the Pythagorean.
Oh my God.
They didn't wrestle this year.
They didn't wrestle.
They got some good brackets though. 74 is a really good bracket. The fun matches. 65 and 57. There's all going to be all 3 of those brackets have some really fun matchups. Some in the quarters, but definitely semis and on.
So Lehigh by the pre-seeds is the favorite. Do you see them winning, Ben?
If you would not have told me that, I would not have guessed they're the favorites. I would have guessed it would be Princeton because Princeton having such a good year. But, as I kind of look through these pre-seeds, Lehigh's got a fairly high-ranked guy at almost every single weight class. So maybe they just don't, say the EIWAs is different than the NCAAs because the NCAAs, Princeton would have a bunch of guys ranked in the top 4, whereas I believe Lehigh's only guy ranked in the top 4 is Jordan Keller.
Right.
Also, Kolodzik is seated 4th.
Yeah, that's going to help because how does he – he's going to win that. He's going to win that weight, right? Barring – now he has had some weird losses in his life, but the idea that he won't win this tournament would really stun me. And, man, he is just this – total wrinkle that we haven't hardly talked about this year because he came out so late. But man, come NCAAs, where he's seated, wherever he winds up, it's gonna be fascinating to see where he winds up and how he looks at EIWAs this weekend. He's super good.
Well, where do you guys think he is? Okay, say that he wins the EIWAs, which I think you guys are assuming, which as well as I would assume. Where do you think he ends up in the seat? Can he not be seated because of lack of matches, or where do you think he ends up?
It's going to be a tough one. So
he's at 10 matches.
10. He could he's going to get 13.
14, 13?
It's just the quality wins are going to crush him. He just doesn't have them, and he's not going to get that many at EIWAs. You know, Clark's obviously a really solid win if he gets it, and Hunter Richards okay, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. I mean, what if he ends up on the one side? What if he ends up in the 1 seed's quarter? Because he won't be a 1 seed or a 2 seed, but maybe
it's more like that round of 16 or the round of 8 that's gonna really I mean, say he ends up a 5, you know, when he should be the 1, that's gonna really hurt the 4, isn't it?
It'll hurt the 4 and potentially the 1. It would be hard to see him that high as a 4 or 5. That's a total reputation seed if you think about it, because there's not going to be.
What do you think then?
I don't know how you could put him over any of the top 7 guys.
Oh man,
with Sasso, Lugo, O'Connor. Well, I guess Klotzy's there. So top 6: Mahler, Llewellyn, and Lee.
Yeah, I don't know. And then our next is Polmeyer.
Yeah, where do you guys put him? I mean, make a pick here.
7.
6 or 7, I think. Yeah.
Ooh.
And honestly, that's not the worst thing, because the 7-2, the 8. I mean, he does have to be in the bracket, which means he's going to be near a good wrestler. You can't not have him in there. He's going to wrestle somebody, but it's tough to see him, you know, earning the seed that is relative to his talent, the threat that he poses. I might pick him to win NCAAs. I don't know if I will, but I'll see how conferences look and how, you know, what does Sasso do? What does Lugo do? I think those are the probably 3 for me, and O'Connor, the 4th. I think the champ's going to come from those 4 guys. And Kolodzik may be better than all of them.
I mean, if I'm looking at the bracket right now, obviously I would lean Kolodzik. I mean, I want to see Mahler win for Missouri. That would be really good for them. But I got to lean Kolodzik if I'm picking who I think the best guy is. I think it's him.
Yeah, there's no – I don't blame you for that perspective. Now, he did not wrestle O'Connor last year at NCAAs, right? No. Oh, he did beat him 3-2. He beat him 3-2 at the duel, but they did not wrestle at NCAAs. And of course, O'Connor really came on strong at the end there. And at the end of the year, Kolodzik lost to Ashnall and then Mitch Feinsilver. So,
but he beat Brock Mahler twice.
He has 2 wins over Mahler. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know. Oof. 49 is gonna be fun. I tend to lean Princeton too, just mentally in my mind. Like, that's just how I see it playing out. Lehigh always has like 10 pretty good guys. Like, you can count on it. Yeah. But are they gonna have the title contending pop here to surpass Princeton? I'm not sure. But Cornell not gonna be in the mix this year, it looks like. But don't worry, the Storm's coming next year. And that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Okay, that's EIWA. Anything else with there?
What you said, Cornell Storm's coming next year. Did you find it interesting that I don't remember where I saw this, but that Greg D is going to take a gap year for sure? Where I figured they would try to throw him in there 2 years in a row.
I did too. I thought that would be the plan, but I guess they're going to go veto another year at 25 maybe, and then I don't know what they do at 33 in that scenario. But you figure Saunders 41, Yanni 49, or did Saunders go 33? I mean, how big or small is he? He was a 65 for trials, or the trials qualifier, where he placed. I feel like 33 is a stretch for that guy. He's not tall.
Did he go 61, Christian?
No,
he was 61 two years ago.
Yes, he was. But he was 65 in December at Fort Worth. That was
you're right.
That was the weight he wrestled at Chumindia at. I wouldn't be surprised if he was done growing. I don't think he's getting much taller. So I don't know what they're going to do there, because there's a scenario where they go Vito, Saunders, Yanni stays at 41 again. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to be really good. I thought the same thing, Ben, but you know what? With Greg D, maybe they assess him. They say, well, he could really benefit from a year. And plus, next year doesn't have to be the only year we really push because all those guys are going to have 2 years left, right? So you could roll out Greg, Vito, Yanni, Saunders. Yapuzian's coming in. They're going to have, they got Foca. They've got all those guys, Darmstadt.
Yeah.
There's dudes I'm forgetting.
Julian Ramirez.
Julian Ramirez. Mm-hmm.
Their heavyweight student, Luis Fernandez. He's having a really good redshirt year. He's a pinner too, which helps. Yeah.
So they're going to be good. They're going to be good. 2 years at least.
But it's one of those where it's, again, I don't want to, but it's like, okay, well, next year, if everyone's healthy and ready to go, you might as well go. And, this is somewhere I've changed my mind probably in the last 3 years, like where I used to feel like, I don't want to see you redshirt everybody, but you almost redshirt everybody. And now it's like, dude, like, okay, next year, if everyone's healthy, you go. Because what if in 2 years, say Darmstadt gets hurt, right? Or Yanni gets hurt. And now you don't have that weapon. So if you're ready to go, you go, is what I feel like.
I agree. And one thing I was thinking, I wanted to ask Coach Bono this, but I didn't really circle back to the question. Talking about the jump for Mason Paris year over year. If Mason redshirts last year, do we think he's having the season he's having this year? It's just all speculation, but I just wonder in that example is like this dude did the whole schedule, Big Tens, NCAAs. He wrestled all these guys. Does just feeling all those guys and wrestling that many good wrestlers, is that changing up where opposed to just, all right, I'll hit the Michigan State Open, I'll go to the Cleveland State Open in Matttown and get 15 matches against okay competition and go 14-1 and then come in the next year and then I do trials. Compared to everything he did, I just wonder about that.
But I feel like that's a choice, though. I mean, I had 46 matches as a red shirt. I went freaking everywhere because I wanted to get better. And then I went to the U.S. Open and the junior trials and the World Team trial. I went everywhere. And so Mason Paris could have redshirted and made those decisions. I mean, he could have got into Midlands and a bunch of those opens. The one thing that sometimes I see some coaching staffs, sometimes they ignore their red shirts. Right? They say, oh, he's a red shirt. He's got another year. I'm focusing on my starter. Some coaching staffs don't. They say, we're going to focus on everybody. We know he's going to be a big part of our lineup next year. So I think it is all conjecture whether you say he made as big of a jump or not. But I think there's a possibility that he does while still in red shirt.
I don't disagree with that either. I don't. I really don't.
Yeah.
But it's just a curious thing to see this level of a jump, and so it bears like further speculation because it's a curious thing.
Yeah, one thing that's hurting my head, and I got to bring it up because, and I know it's not relevant for this conference weekend, but we are getting close to NCAAs, so whatever. Is like I looked at the bracket and I was looking at how bad Dom Demas beat up Nick Lee at NCAAs last year, and like how that looked. And I remember watching that match, thinking, oh my God, he's killing him. Like, how is Nick Lee ever going to beat Dom Demas? And now like the perspective shift in 11 months of now, like, Christian, if I said Dom Demas beats Nick Lee at NCAAs, your freaking head's going to explode, isn't it?
I would be stunned. I mean, but then again, he is one of those guys where he could just bomb Nick Lee. And Nick Lee is fearless upper body also. Now, I don't know if they didn't really, I don't know. I don't think their match ended up with many upper body exchanges. Maybe he inside tripped him. I can't remember how that match.
I think so.
I think he inside tripped him a few times.
Okay, so maybe it was
I'm
more
about to go back.
Maybe more upper body than I recall. But so he does have that opportunity, but he is much better. Yeah, inside trip. One. Beautiful. So I don't know. My head won't explode, honestly. My head won't explode if Dom beat Nick Lee.
Despite the season Dom's had, I absolutely think he's one of those guys you don't want to see in March. You don't want to wrestle him in Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he went inside trip and Nick Lee bailed the second time. He kind of finished with like a Merkle position to make it. Man, that was just at the first period. Holy cow! Does he get another one? Did you recently watch this match or did you just look at the score?
I was looking at the bracket. I saw the score, and then I remember watching the match. Like, holy crap, is that happening over there? Because the score ends up pretty big.
Yeah, I forget the final here as Bracky's pouring it on, but yeah, I can't rule out Dom Demas because of the threat that he has. If he wrestled a different style, man, he really did. Just tossed him by.
Yeah.
Beautiful shuck. He's super good.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of. maybe change. I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise we've seen in NCAAs. That's for darn sure.
You won't pick Dom Demas to win.
Everyone was doing it. I've been kind of Nick Lee all along. I'm not jumping off.
He inside tripped him again, by the way.
Yeah, so basically
Oh my God.
3 inside trips, and then Nick Lee gets some stuff going at the end, but too little, too late.
Yeah. Well, another thing I was thinking is that our Big Ten picks yesterday, we kind of all went to chalk. I mean, or relatively close. And one thing I always laugh at when I get the NCAA brackets, guys. Every single year there's going to be a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 lose, and you're like, you look at all the matchups, you're like, it ain't gonna be this guy, it ain't gonna be this guy, but then it happens. Like with our Big Ten seeds, give me someone you think could come out of nowhere that we didn't pick, because I don't think we picked any winners below a 3 seed. Who are some guys that you think could come out of a low seed and win?
Well, win is tough. I think at 40, I said 49 yesterday. Could you see something crazy with a Verclair and Yaya run? The winner of that 8-9 pre-quarter doing something wild. I do think Sasso and Lugar are pretty removed from the field and Lee, but you could see something happening there. I mean, 65's on lockdown, 25's on lockdown, 33. Do you say Alvarez goes through RBY? Because the thing is, for anyone on the outside of 33, they're going to have to beat 2. They're going to have to beat someone and then someone in the semi in all likelihood, because there's 4 great guys there. So if you think, okay, Alvarez, he's a really tough, true freshman, he would have to beat RBY, then DeSanto. Like that's just crazy talk, right? Like it's really just tough to see. As close as he was with RBY, saying he would do that twice. Oh, by the way, that's to make the finals where you're probably going to hit Seth Grosser or Sebastian Rivera. So just no way, right? 41, I think, is one. As great as we think Nick and Luke are, I think that's one. I think could have Chad, because look at how good these guys are behind him. Max Mirren, Chad Red, Moran, McKee, dangerous guys, really good guys that some of them have had really good years. As great as Nick and Luke are, I think that's one where you could see, because the whole point of this is you're saying something that is so unlikely, but if you're looking for something unlikely, I think it's that. I think you're wise to point out Trent Hilger. I can't get around Cassiope beating Stevenson, but I think Hilger is worth mentioning.
I think you brought this one up. Shakur's an interesting one at a 6 who, it's like, these are the things. It's like when you look at it initially, you're like, nah, there's no way. But then you're like, well, it's going to happen somewhere. We just know it from history. Nothing ever goes. What they said, there was only one bracket that's ever went 1 through 8. I think someone researched that, wasn't it, Kyle?
So yeah, I think Jason Bryant was able to find that. I looked through the Big Ten brackets last year. The highest seed to make the finals was Chad Red as an 8, and he went through Kanan Storr and Mikey Carr to get there. Then outside of that, it was Luke Pletcher, who was a 5, who got an injury default in the semis. I don't know.
Here's one of my favorite memories ever. I was a big Quentin Wright fan, huge. He was the 8 at Big Tens, 8 seed at Big Tens, and he won. I think he was the 11 seed at NCAAs that year, and he won. So he's the 8 at Big Tens. I mean, he really had a pretty rough year. Gambrell beat him, and 184 at Big Tens was nasty this year. You had Travis Rutt, Kevin Steinhaus, Grant Gambrell, previous 3rd placer, Ian Hinton, Tony Delago. I don't know how you see behind all those guys. AJ Kissel, CJ Magrum was tough, and then Quentin Wright. And Quentin beats Rutt, Delago, and then Steinhaus, who Steinhaus had majored him, I'm pretty sure, that year.
Yeah.
He got on top and tilted him 1,000 times. So that was one example. So it happens. It's not unheard of for guys even out of the 8 to go on a run at Big Ten. So if we're looking for 8s or 9s, I mean, obviously the GOAT Joey Silva looms large there. Hey, I'd say he's unlikely. Quentin Wright wasn't undefeated when he entered Big Tens as the 8 seed.
4-0.
You're right.
4-0, baby.
You guys mentioned Rashid, and I thought this was interesting. I was working on the 197-pound preview. He only has I know he's only wrestled 9 matches. Only one bonus point victory.
And he was a cradling machine before.
The previous 2 seasons, 37 bonus point wins.
That's
Wow.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the percentage would be interesting to compare to, not just the volume, but like
It's
what was his bonus rate those years, because that's
the one year was like in the 80s.
And he's had some guys where you're like, okay, this is a bonus opportunity for Shakur.
73 last year and 68 the year he All-Americaned and down to 11%.
I mean, his bonus rates starting the year were 40, 45, 50, 68, 73, and now 11.
Damn.
That's wild.
What happened? What happened, Shaq?
I don't know. I mean, obviously he had ACL surgery. That could not have helped. But it makes you wonder if there's something else going on there. Because recovering from ACL surgery is, I don't want to say it's routine, but everyone kind of knows the plan, and it's kind of a thing. You see recoveries from ACL surgeries. I mean, Jordan Burroughs.
Also, this is his 6th year of college wrestling.
Is that a factor?
I think
that
it
is. Gotta be.
6 years in college? I guess I did that, but I wasn't on a wrestling team. I didn't have to peak my body for any conference tournament.
He's going to be in a dogfight just to qualify.
He is. He absolutely is, because 197 is no joke. I mean, look at – all right, so 197, Moore, Schultz, Warner, Bruner, Davison, Rashid. It gets 6, by the way.
Yeah, only 6.
Here's the guys behind him. Find me a not legit guy here in this next group of 4. Jordan Pagano, Jackson Strigo, Jerron Smith of Maryland, Hunter Ritter of Minnesota. That is 10 dudes. Many of those guys have qualified for NCAAs previously. So it is going to be tough. He will have to beat some good guys. But I think it's the thing that has kept me saying, okay, this can happen. Penn State can happen, is he wrestled for Penn State. He has been a good wrestler in the past. Therefore,
you're waiting on it, right? Like
I'm just still waiting.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting. And obviously the waiting will end at Big Tens one way or the other, because he'll either do it or he won't, right? And we'll have a glimpse. We will know exactly where he is at Big Tens. And if you're a Penn State fan, you need him to go above and beyond what we've seen this year and return back to what he was previously. I think at 184, maybe we could see something crazy with like Rocky Jordan. If this weight was a little deeper, maybe I could see someone else. I mean, obviously Brooks is really good, but he's still a true freshman, and true freshmen do true freshman things sometimes, even if they're as polished as he is. So I think that's where I see the opportunities. Do you see any others?
No, I think we hit them all.
We caught them all.
Yeah, because all the other ones are pretty high. That I would pick are like 3s or 4s, so not very low.
Nice. Okay, hey, you know what, Ben? It's interesting. This is a historic kind of moment here for Kyle Brackey. Kyle Brackey has not traveled for wrestling since Fargo because he started a family.
What?
Yeah, he's been on house arrest. I won't say it, but he's been here.
We didn't after Fargo. There wasn't really anything to travel to.
I'm just saying the facts.
And
are the
I
facts.
did travel after that for football. I literally went on a 14-day Flow football road trip in August, and then went to.
Oh, that's right.
Went to multiple events. The last event, Flow Sports event I've been to was Labor Day weekend. Went to the Freedom Bowl, big high school football showcase. But then we had the baby in November, and I was off for a while, and you guys were nice enough to let me have until March to get back on the road. But yeah, and it picks up big time. So I go Big Tens, obviously a week off, then NCAAs, then the week after that, last chance qualifier, then the week after that, Olympic trials.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
Olivia's gonna stab me. This was not my decision. Not my decision.
She is freaking out pretty hard, just because she'll be here by herself with Hayden, but they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, Caleb would probably be a pretty good babysitter.
Caleb's more responsible than me. He could do it. He is this dork. Oh my gosh, my son. He wears.
You called your son a dork on national radio?
He's great. He's the best. No, I wouldn't change a thing about him. Okay. He wears this Timex watch, which is pretty nerdy. I mean, look, he's my child, so whatever. But he has his alarms go off. He has an alarm set for time to get up, the tardy bell at school, even though his mother is a teacher at the school. He's got the lunch timer. He's got bath time and bedtime all going on. So every once in a while, we'll just be sitting there like, because he had to go to church like in the regular services, and we're sitting there, and at like 11:18 or something, it's like beep 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 beep. He's like shuts it up. I was like, what is that? He's like, it's lunch. It's the lunch alarm. He's ridiculous. So yeah, he would be fine. Him and Hayden would be fine.
Keep him on a strict schedule.
Yeah, quick. All right, hey, it's time to eat, Hayden. Let's go. Let's get the bottle out. So yeah, Bracky back in the saddle. Exciting stuff.
I'm pumped to be going back to Jersey.
Right?
Yeah.
Every time we go to Jersey,
fun.
it is the best. So the rack is so sold out. It's very sold out. It's an amazing, amazing thing. I mean, Spay was bringing up, you can't make nobody happy in this sport. I mean, that's just part of it. You can't make people happy, right? It's like, NCAA, we can't get an NCAA ticket. Oh, my gosh, it's terrible. All right, we'll have it in a football field one time. Let's see how it goes. Oh, it's terrible.
Haven't even had the tournament. I
haven't
can't
even had
see.
it.
You need
they
binoculars.
already can't see at the tournament they're not at, okay? And then on the other side, it's the rack is too small, 62, 60, however big it is.
It's like I think the configuration is going to see like 7,000.
7,000. That's it's going to be, the atmosphere is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be fantastic. And but no, not everyone can get a ticket. But then, I remember when the hottest ticket you could get in wrestling 2 years ago was for the Ohio State Penn State duel. They had it at Rec Hall, and now I'm seeing Penn State fans complaining about, there's not enough tickets. I'm like, it's just however it swings for them in that particular scenario. But this just happens, and you know what? Kale and Penn State made the right decision with the Ohio State Penn State duel. That was an insane thing. Ben, you were there. Bader said he's never experienced anything like it.
It was awesome.
And Bader has seen some stuff.
Oh, don't you know? I know Bader's seen stuff. Oh, man. Wow. If only I could talk about the first time my wife met Mark Bader, it would be so fantastic, but is not fit for air.
Oh, my gosh.
On Flow. Oh, man. He's a wild man. Yeah. So, listen. That deal was so awesome. I mean, but I was against it. I thought they should have held it in the Bryce Jordan because, man, Ohio State got like 64 fans in the whole event. I mean, it was rude to Ohio State fans.
You're proving Kale's point, though.
A tiny little section of red up in this corner, But yeah, wrestling fans, they complain. I don't even know why we talk. They just whine and whine and whine. The rack is going to be outstanding this weekend. And listen, if they don't get a ticket to that, they can go to EIWAs. If they don't get a ticket to that, they go to New Jersey State. If they don't get a ticket to that, they can go to ACCs in Pittsburgh, all within driving distance. There is absolutely nothing to complain about, people. We have something for you.
PIAAs also. There's never a better time to be a wrestling fan in terms of the coverage. I mean, how many live matches? You have to work pretty hard to find a Division I match you can't find.
Yes.
To watch online, it's tremendous. And 2 years ago at Michigan State, there was not this issue of tickets, right? You could walk up and you could.
There were empty seats.
Plenty of empty seats. 2 years later, it's pandemonium. Now
Speaking of that, it was funny. Spade tweeted out some picture and it had a picture of it when it was at Michigan State, and then it was talking about how it's sold out at Minnesota and then now at Rutgers. And there were Michigan fans, not University of Michigan wrestling fans, but just Michigan people being like, oh, well, it didn't sell because that was the weekend of the high school state tournament. And Spade's like, yeah, it's also the weekend of the high school state tournament in New Jersey, and this sold out like 6 months ago. Yeah. So what's your excuse?
Exactly. New Jersey they bring a different level of passion and caring. Oh, yeah. It's like Iowa, Pennsylvania, New Jersey are just the passion and love for the sport is just crazy in those states. And yeah, last year Minnesota was
incredible. Yeah.
It was great. Yeah. It was great. Ben, you really played yourself. You're gonna go to Ireland to sign autographs for fight fans. You're not gonna go to Big Tens.
You didn't even tell us you're going to Ireland. I put that in the show notes. I was like, Ben went to Ireland and didn't tell anybody. How are you not going to tell anybody you're going to Ireland?
It's like a nomad trip. Well, I told them I couldn't leave. I had to do my Thursday show at FRL, so it didn't really affect you guys. So, I said I have to leave Thursday night because I'm doing my FRL on Thursday morning. I got to be back. I got a show on Monday with Rudis. I didn't miss anything.
Listen,
No one missed me.
Per new Flow Sports coronavirus protocol, you have to make us aware of any international travel as a Flow Sports employee. You're not technically a full-time employee, but for the purpose of this show, I think you have to make us aware of any international travel moving forward.
I don't believe there's any coronavirus in Ireland. I don't think so.
We reserve the right to ground you.
Yeah, we can ground you. You can lose your TSA pre-check status and everything. It could be a real scenario.
Hey, speaking of New Jersey, I have not watched the Edge documentary. What do you guys? Should I watch it? I heard it's awesome.
So it's cool. I mean, I haven't watched the most recent thing. I watched like the rough cut right before the final edit, and so I still need to watch the final thing. But
I watched it last night, knowing pretty much nothing about Ernie Monaco. I knew about Edge. I didn't know any of the backstory. I hadn't seen any of the previous cuts or anything, and I thought it was pretty powerful and pretty awesome. I mean, you know how big of an impact wrestling coaches have on people's lives and everything, but he genuinely does not care about making money, fame, any of that. He literally values these relationships. Like, that's how he views getting paid, is getting to have these relationships with these guys. And you can see the names that have come through there are insane.
Ridiculous.
Insane.
And those guys and all those people. I mean, you saw Mike Gray and Matt Valeni and Joe Dubuque, and Zach Esposito, Tonelli, all in the doc or tweeting about it. The
Mako
impact that Mako that they had on his life or on their lives. So obviously, he's an amazing person, and we need more Ernies in the sport.
And it's interesting that he kind of birthed the club movement. It was like you just did it with your high school. I mean, where would wrestling be if all we ever had were our high school coaches, right? AWA, think about that.
That's a hot button top. People get so mad when you talk about that, Christian. A lot of old school people, they don't want to admit that there's a place and a purpose for both club coaches and high school coaches. And I don't have any issues with any high school coaches. I have great relationships with them because a lot of them do a great job during the high school season, and then my job's in the off season to help them here. So, we work together. We have a very symbiotic relationship. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you watch the success America has had at the international level, how much better we've gotten in the last 10 years, where there's been, so obviously Edge was in Jersey. For us here in the Midwest, I think the first one was Overtime. I believe it started right around the year 2000. That was really high. That was Sean Bourmet. But the proliferation of these high-level clubs and how it's helped America at the international level is just tremendous.
That's kind of a big point in the piece on Ernie is the pushback he got at first from all these high school coaches that didn't want their kids to go there and trying to force their kids not to go there or force him out of town or out of business too.
Yeah, it's I think clubs are we didn't really have a great club scene in Virginia when I was coming up, and then there was one guy who was a legendary high school coach who started a club, and I was so happy to send my guys there because I knew they were getting better coaching than I could provide. They were getting better partners than I could provide and getting that look. I mean, I credit a lot of the success. I mean, being able to send guys to Coach Waters and be like, hey, he's having a hard time with this. I don't know how to fix it. And then it was great. Yeah. So, the quote's like, it's amazing what people can accomplish when no one cares about the credit. And it's like a lot of that's ego with like, the high school coach, they want the credit. And, Ben, you're stepping on their toes maybe a little bit in their mind.
Well, I have great relationships. We're good. Well, I'm good with every coach in the area. I have zero issues. But I think it's one of those. Well, here's what. Yeah, listen, we all have great relationships. They do a great job. We do a good job in the off season. But I think it's one of those where if a club coach comes in and there are these people, right? But they say your high school coach is idiot. I'm better. That guy usually does not last very long because then the high school coaches create this really antagonistic relationship. And so what club coaches need to do if they want to have success is they need to embrace the local clubs. They need to embrace the high schools because everyone needs to work together to push this thing forward. And if we don't work together, if we're fighting each other, the club coach isn't going to last very long, and it's going to be bad for the local programs, right? So everyone needs to work together to drive towards a really productive endpoint.
The club coaches that have that kind of mentality about the high school coaches are only hurting their kids, because then it's embedded in their minds. When I go to this practice, I'm not getting the most out of it. I'm not getting optimized. And it's in your head. Maybe it's a waste of my time. So if it's a waste of your time, how much effort are you going to put in? How hard are you going to try? How seriously are you going to listen to the coach? That
100%.
is bad attitude. Coaches, quit doing that. Club coaches, shame on you. Public shame.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's not good. Hey, it's 9:44. Do you want to do Tuesday headlines quick before we go?
I think we have to.
We have to. We must.
Damn it! I should have came up with one.
That's gonna help Tuesday headlines, is having one. I'll get one. I got one good. You're gonna love this. This is pulling in so many fun little bits. Joey Silva places higher at Big Tens than Cole Martin. Tuesday headline.
That's a good one. Oh man. The hardest part about the Tuesday headline is it's got to be something that's unpredictable. Go, Kyle. Go give me another second.
I'm thinking, man, I came unprepared as well.
Okay.
You came prepared, or did you just come up with that?
No, I thought about it.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Shakur Rashid wins 197 pounds at the Big Ten.
Woo! That's a good one.
That's a spicy take.
That's a spicy meatball there, Ben.
Oh man.
He's about to pick Shakur Laney top 4 at Max.
No, he's gonna win Max, obviously. Vincenzo wins his first Big Ten title.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's really going out on
a
the
two-time national champion wins his conference.
Listen, he's never done it before. This would be groundbreaking stuff. Let me know if he's ever done it before.
Got it. You're right. That is as irrefutable.
It has never happened in this world.
Has he beaten? He's beaten everyone in the bracket. You know what we should have had pulled up?
Has he beaten everyone? Has he wrestled every single competitor in the bracket? We don't know that.
No, he's wrestled the
literally no way for us to look that up either.
Yeah, there's no way to verify that. You know what we messed up? Ben, did you see the Kyle Brackey dunk yesterday?
I did. I watched it. It was pretty impressive.
Man, I should. If I was smart, I'd have had that queued up, but it's too late. But maybe that's a tease for next Tuesday's show. I'm sure after conference weekend, the first thing on the top of
I'm back in the dunking game.
Our mind will be to play.
And that was probably my best one ever.
It was your best dunk ever. You might need to retire. Well, it's 9:46. Ben has to board his flight to Trinidad and Tobago or something probably. So make sure you tell your wife where you're going. But
actually, Christian, I booked my 10-year trip with you guys in mind. I have my 10-year anniversary coming up. We're not going to go. It's in April. We're not going to May. But I said, listen, I got to do my FRLs. I'm not missing FRL. So I booked my travel after or whatever it is.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah. That's great.
Thank you.
Don't have Amy resent us or whatever, because
Mrs. Asquin takes a backseat to FRL.
Dang it! All right, gonna have a hard time staying on her good side, but that's your issue. All right, well, thanks to Amy for letting Ben do this, and thanks to Ben, and thanks to Kyle, and you guys at home for listening. Holy cow, there's so much. We'll give them the rundown of what's live as Kyle plays us out.
All right, so starting off tomorrow, you have the PIAA championships get kicked off in Hershey. Then on Friday, get a little conference weekend action kicking off with the EIWA championships. And then, of course, Saturday and Sunday, you have the Big Ten championships. Also, the NJCAA National Junior College Wrestling Championships will be live on Friday and Saturday as well. And the New England State Championships on Saturday and Sunday. So it's championship season for wrestling.
Can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be so fun. No idea if the music's playing. It doesn't matter if it's playing or not. We're going to get the heck out of here. Happy Wednesday. We're going to go eat some breakfast tacos.
Heck yeah.
And then we're going to go pack because we're going to New Jersey. See you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.
Thank you.